YouTube. What's good, guys? It's your boy TD, and I'm back again with another live, guys. And tonight's live is going to be on 5 rookie wide receivers. Sorry about that, guys. Tonight's show is going to be on 5 rookie wide receivers that would change your chances of winning a championship. So, guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. What's going on, Alex?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm
Good
chilling,
to be here.
bro. I'm chilling. I'm glad to be back, man. I've been going through a little bit of a situation, but I finally got everything set up, and I'm just glad to get back to doing fantasy football content, man, and talking about some of these rookie wide receivers, so y'all can get the gas, so y'all can win these championships.
Hell yeah! You want to tell everybody a little bit about the new show we're kicking off tonight?
Yes, Alex. So, guys, this is called the Good Hour. I'm sounding like Max, calling myself Goody.
It happens.
It's the Good Hour, guys, and this is the show. We also have up other people up here sometimes. Hopefully, it's another lady that's a friend of ours that hopefully she can come up sometimes, and also another friend is RG. Hopefully, he can come up sometimes. But this is the main panel for the Good Hour. So, guys, make sure you tune in every Thursday at 6:30, including doing fantasy football seasons too. Did I leave anything out, Alex or Maximus or Terrence?
No, you touched it up good. With that, I figured we might as well kick off some of our panel here. So you know him from YouTube. He is on that fantasy network. He's on other social network like X, Facebook, you name it. You know him as that fantasy guy. What's up, Terrence? How you doing, bud?
What's good, Alex? What's popping? Another day, another dollar.
Hell yeah.
Can't wait. Anxious to talk about fantasy football. And like he told you, you know where to find me at. Right now, my channel is just focused on the rookies. So this conversation is right up my alley, and I'm ready to get it popping. Especially, let's see what my man Sean has to say. The other half of the fantasy blind spot.
What's going up, guys? Good to finally get up, finally do a show together. We met each other a long time ago during COVID on Clubhouse. We all started chatting, and it's just weird how we naturally all gravitated back to each other. So it's just natural we do a show every week with each other. Look forward to it.
Yes, sir. So, what we gonna do, guys? Before we get started, what we want to talk about. We want to talk about the Mount Rushmore, Mount Rushmore quarterbacks.
Yeah, let's let the people know a little bit about us. So let's get into our own personal Rushmores.
Okay.
Hey, you want to kick us off, Sean?
Oh yeah, for sure. We go in one at a time here. We just one person.
Yeah, I figured we'd just do one person, one at a time. We'll each reveal one, kind of just round table this thing.
All right. Well, number 4 for me, one who just makes the list. Not necessarily going to be on everybody's Mount Rushmore, but he's on mine. The blonde bomber, Terry Bradshaw. Just loved how he chucked it in the 70s, a little bit before his time. I'd love to see him play in this type of game right now. Can't give it up to Terry Bradshaw. The next one on the list, number 3, from my team, the 49ers. Loved watching him. My favorite quarterback, personally watching of all time. Lefty Steve Young brought the championship to the 49ers. Obviously, you can't leave the GOAT off. I'm going to say he's the GOAT, but he's my number 2. Because if I'm picking a team and I got one drive, one man to go, there's one man I want above this guy. But at number 2, I got Tom Brady. 7 championships. You can't leave him off of Rushmore. Lastly, for the Niners, Joe Montana. Give me Cool Joe. Anybody that can be in the huddle in the Super Bowl down, needing a touchdown to win with about a minute 12 left, 93 yards to go, and looks over and goes, hey, is that John Candy over there? Just to relax everybody, and then drives down and scores that touchdown to win the Super Bowl. Can't leave him off the list.
So pretty strong list there. I will say, though, you mentioned Terry Bradshaw might not be on everybody's list, and I will say he is on my list. 4 Super Bowls, hard to pass up.
Let me ask you that, Maximus. Why did you put Terry Bradshaw on there? Like, what makes you put him as the
just what Alex just said right there?
Yeah, 4 Super Bowls, man.
4 Super Bowls. You can't take that away, man. Like, I don't care. It's hard to win 1, then alone 2. Like, how many guys have won more than 2? I think you got Bradshaw, Montana, and
Brady.
Tom Brady, and that's it.
What?
Would you put
quarterbacks that have won more than 2?
You're not saying Mahomes?
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, he's new.
With disrespect.
So, that's not him.
Shots fired already.
But still, it's not many. So those
Right.
guys, they're top caliber guys. They're winners, right? They're guys who just
Right.
find ways to win, and that was Terry Bradshaw.
Would you know who Robert Horry is in the NBA?
Oh yeah.
Not a clue.
Would you say Robert Horry should be on a Mount Rushmore?
Nah, that's
I don't even
different.
know who he is.
That's different.
Tell me why it's different, Alex.
Because he was a role player. Bradshaw was running the offense. He was-
Robert Horry wasn't always a role player. He started early in his career, but the last 5 years he was a role player. But the early in his
Right,
career,
that's
he
fair.
started.
Yeah, and that's fair. How many titles did he get when he was a key player? I think that's the
3.
different situation. Yeah, okay. So then I would credit him with at least 3. And then there's the others where he was a role player that he was a key part of that team to win that title. So I'll
Right.
give you that one. But for
Right.
me, for Bradshaw, it's also not just that he won 4. He made 4 and won all 4. There's only 2 guys in history that have done that.
Right.
And that's Bradshaw
Right.
and Montana. So they're
Right.
both on my list.
Right. The only way I would push back is
Mhm.
he got more interceptions than touchdowns. Am I wrong?
More what? Interceptions than touchdowns?
Mm-hmm.
Like in his
For-
whole career.
In his whole career.
I don't think that's right. I could be wrong.
Let's check it real quick.
Look it
Yeah,
up.
go
Look
ahead.
it up. And while y'all doing that, I'm gonna be honest. I don't remember. I think Terry Bradshaw was before my time. I don't remember watching him. But
Yeah.
when I heard my father talk about him or heard people talk about it, heard the Steelers, it was on the steel curtain. I heard about defense before I ever heard about Terry Bradshaw. Matter of fact, even my father was like, he kind of got carried. He had Hall of Famers that he was throwing to, and he kind of got carried. Like he'll chunk it up there and someone to go get it for him. It wasn't that he was the surgeon out there cutting up the defense. That's not the image that was drawn whenever people spoke about this guy.
Okay, so that's a fair statement, and the steel curtain was the pride and joy of that defense. I will give you that, but Bradshaw still had to go out there and win the games and not lose them. So my question to you also would be, do you give credit to Peyton Manning for that last Super Bowl when that Denver defense absolutely carried him and he got benched halfway through the season?
That's what I feel like what I hear about
Yes.
him. I mean, of course, he gets the Super Bowl, but does he really get credit for the one that dragged them there? No,
Yeah.
I don't give him
212,
credit for that.
210.
I don't.
Yeah,
give
he
him
still
that.
got 2.
Right.
I'm saying he get credit for the Super Bowl, but was he the main linchpin in that? No, I don't. Nah, he
Right.
wasn't. Somebody else could have did that. They could have had another good football manager that done that. The defense might have been more scared of
You
what
don't get the
Manning
nickname
was
the blonde bomber unless you
Florida,
fucking
man.
check it, man. It's
Right.
not the blonde check me down. It's the blonde
What you got
bomber.
for us, good? Let me know what you looked up.
Right.
12 to 2.
What I would say, I just want to push back a little bit. I respect Terry Bradshaw. He's a winner. He's a Hall of Famer. But as a Mount Rushmore, I like to get a little individual with stats with that.
That's right.
That's all. I respect Terry Bradshaw. I'm big on winning. That's why I like Eli Manning. A lot of people don't like Eli Manning, but Eli Manning got 2 Super Bowls. Don't never forget that. According to what y'all said about Terry Bradshaw, so I agree. But we can move on. Alex, go ahead and do your Mount Rushmore.
Say again, TD?
You can go ahead and do your Mount Rushmore now.
Okay, so my 4 was Bradshaw, so I mentioned that one. I also mentioned Montana because he was also 4-0 in the Super Bowls, so he was on there. And then got to have Tom Brady making 10 Super Bowls, winning 7. That's going to be, I think, one of the records that just lasts for a long ass time. Even Mahomes is going to have a hard time catching him at this point with as young as he is. And then for my last one, we are talking Peyton Manning. And for me, the reason I'm going with Peyton Manning on this is not just the yardage and the accolades and the 2 Super Bowls he did win. For me, it's also the fact that he has revolutionized the quarterback position. He's also started the Manning Passing Academy. Who knows how many quarterbacks that has brought into the league that may never have actually made it because of the coaching that they get at that Manning Passing Academy. So for me, Peyton Manning also makes my top 4 there.
Yeah.
What you guys think?
I like your top 4. Terry is the only one that I could challenge, but I had a lot of the same guys on my list. Anybody want to challenge Alex's list or maybe a player or 2?
Did his list? How much did his list deviate from Sean?
It didn't.
I didn't
it did.
They marching step to step.
Did you
No.
Spot.
No. He said he had Steve Young. I had Peyton. So there was a difference.
Okay,
there.
that's what I'm about to say. That's a true fan right there. Sean is a true fan.
Fox quarterback.
I mean, to be fair, we also talk football about 3 hours a week together. So there's going to be some overlap.
Facts. All right, you want to go next, Terrence?
Of course, and I didn't put it in a particular order. I just put down guys that I saw had the huge impact, and I just thought it was a crime. I don't give a damn how young he is. We are not leaving out Patrick Mahomes. You're the young GOAT. Right. The young GOAT. Do not leave him out. And of course, I'm gonna have Peyton Manning up in there. I mean, I watched that man, carry teams, and just like that season, he went out. They was pure trash. Pure trash. Of course, you have to throw my two main GOATs in there. First, Tom Brady. Is no questioning. You know who he is. You know his resume. He is him. Himothy. That's what you call him. Nickname him Himothy because he is him. And then as a kid, I made a transition when I was an adult because I wanted to rep my hometown. But as a kid, I was a huge Jerry Rice fan, and all I did was look at San Fran games. So Joe Montana has to be on my list. He that dude.
Yep.
I can't challenge nobody. I can't challenge Pat Mahomes on there. He needs to be on there. He got 3 Super Bowls already. So, yeah, what can I say? And the rest of the guys, what I'm going to say, Joe Montana sucked or something? We know Joe Montana what he was. Peyton Manning was great. Alex is putting me in the same ballpark with Terry Bradshaw. I don't like that. He's not, come on, that's totally different. Peyton Manning last year is different than Terry Bradshaw throwing 210 interceptions and only throwing 212 touchdowns. That's like Peyton Manning got like a way better ratio than that. But that's neither here nor there. I'm giving you a hard time, Alex.
Naturally.
So yeah, anybody want to challenge Terrence?
No, I think it makes sense. And when you're talking Mount Rushmores like this, it's hard to narrow down to 4.
It is.
Like I mean, we talked about what 8, 9 guys.
Right.
So it's tough to narrow down. Yeah, you're nitpicking, splitting hairs.
Yes. So my 4 guys. First guy, I'm gonna talk about Joe Montana. Now listen, I didn't watch a lot of Joe Montana. I wasn't watching football in the late 80s because I was born in 86, but I watched his highlights, and I said he was a great athlete. A lot of people don't know that Joe Montana could dunk. Joe Montana ran like a 4.7, and he was very strong. People don't understand it. So Joe Montana was great in his own athletic way too. He was clutch. He probably the best clutch quarterback that we ever saw. He had great coaching too. Just to give he great coaching his whole career. My next guy is going to be Tom Brady. Tom Brady, to me, guys, he didn't really need a coach. He went to Tampa and led that team. He coached that team to a championship. He told the defense, I need y'all to do this. I need the offensive line to do this. I need you to call this type of play, Bruce Arians. And that's why him and Bruce Arians got into it. So you have to give Tom Brady the credit. And he left Bill Belichick and won another Super Bowl. So that tells you how great Tom Brady was. And you see Bill Belichick is in college now. So Tom Brady was the glue, or whatever you want to call it, that held that team together. So Tom Brady, to me, could be called the greatest quarterback of all time, him or Joe Montana. Next guy I want to talk about is one of the greatest arms that I ever saw is Dan Marino. Dan Marino, guys, if he would have played in this era, he would have threw 6,000 yards. He was doing it back when you could hit anybody under 5 yards. He didn't care. I can knock your head off. They're not going to call a penalty. And he still threw for 4,000 yards back in the day when it was a run league. So Dan Marino could possibly be the GOAT. If he'd have went to the Pittsburgh Steelers, he would have been Terry Bradshaw. He would have had the 4 or 5 rings. But they didn't draft him. They drafted somebody else. Mark.
They passed on
him. Getting hurt. What'd you say, Maximus?
They passed on him in the draft. He was pissed.
Right. And they took the defensive tackle. Mark. Who they take?
I don't know. I forget who they take.
Yeah, he was in a car wreck. So, but Dan Marino, guys, arm is crazy. Like, I think he probably has the best arm talent than any quarterback ever to play the game.
Oh, it's unreal. Unreal the throws he can make.
Unreal. The ball, it like flickered out of his hand.
Oh,
and last but not least is Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, Tom Brady could do this too, but Peyton Manning was his own coach. It didn't matter who his offensive coordinator. The offense looked the same. How do you gonna give Adam Gates a job just because he was the offensive coordinator for Peyton Manning? He didn't do shit for Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning told him what he wanted to do. Peyton Manning is great. I wasn't surprised that he won the Super Bowl with Denver. He wasn't his best self, but he still managed the game because he knew the game. He didn't turn the ball over like a lot of these quarterbacks do, like Sam Darnold. Like he knew better. You know what? I'm not the same quarterback, so I'm just gonna be here to take us to a championship. Make sure I don't turn the ball over. 2 Super Bowls. If he didn't have to play against Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, he probably would have had a couple more Super Bowls. So those are my Mount Rushmore players.
I love it. We got some awesome lists going on.
Yes, sir.
Now, I will give you pushback, of course.
Let's go.
A quarterback that all we could do is describe how talented he was, and it didn't result to any Super Bowls. That's the only thing that I would say. That's
Super Bowls are overrated. It makes you disrespect players. Now, I respect them when you win them, and I will give you credit for that. But I'm not going to devalue guys that didn't cheat and go to super teams. Guys that got drafted to a bad environment, you have to give them their rite of passage. Like, you got to understand that if they would have went to New England or one of the top teams like Kansas City, they would have won a lot of Super Bowls. So, but Dan Marino, man, he went to Miami and, he had to beat the Cowboys. He had to beat the Steelers. It was a lot for him to win a Super Bowl. So I don't think he's any less of a player just because he didn't win a Super Bowl.
Welcome to the NFL. Welcome to the NFL.
It's the only thing that matters for quarterbacks is a Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. No, when it comes to quarterbacks, I don't care about Super Bowl for any other
Josh
player.
Allen sucked. I'm not sucked, but Josh Allen is not a winner.
But he might end up being Marina if that's the case.
He ain't winning. So I'm telling you to call him something right now. What would you call Josh Allen right now?
Talented.
He don't have a Super Bowl.
Talented, and you don't get on my Rouse Rushmore. You get called talented. Real talented.
Okay. Fair enough.
I respect your talent.
Fair enough.
Now go sit in the corner because you don't deserve to be at this table.
The big boys rings are over
Sit
here
at
at
the
the table.
Right. Yeah. And Eli Manning can sit at your table. But
no. He had the kid at the table too. Because he don't get to the GO table. You right there. You was talented. You was talented. You won your Super Bowls, but you gonna sit at that kiddie table too. With Dan Marino. Go right there. He wish he had what you had, and you wish he had. Well, y'all wishing y'all had the same thing to get in this GOAT table. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Reach it.
As you can see, there will be plenty of agreements and disagreements to come up with this show.
Oh, yeah. This is what this channel is about. This is what the good hour is going to be about, guys. This is authentic. This is how we do it here. We keep it real. So, yes, sir. Let's read out a couple comments, and then I guess we'll get to our rookies, wide receivers, right? Y'all good with that?
Yes, sir.
Yep. All right. So, first comment. Let me see. We got Miracle Ballers in the house. What's up, bro? What's going on with you? Good to see you, man. Appreciate you showing support. We got Big Will in the house. I say Big Will in the house. Watch your mouth. What's up, Big Will? We got Alex P. Keaton in the building. He says, fun fact, Bradshaw was a backup to Duck Dynasty dad at L.A. Tech. And Bradshaw said he would have probably not started if Philly liked football as much as Honey. It's Phil like football as much as Honey.
Bradshaw, you can have the Bucks. I want the Ducks.
Right.
When it the Duck call.
Yep.
Alex says Bradshaw won those Super Bowls and was great enough to get 2 receivers in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, they won. The receivers don't got a lot of stats, but they won 4 Super Bowls, so they got to be in the Hall. You win 4 Super Bowls, you going to the Hall of Fame.
But Super Bowl rings for a receiver, is that the same?
No, it ain't. But if you do win Super Bowl ring, look at Michael Irvin. Michael Irvin's stats is probably puts him out of the top 200 of wide receivers. But when you bring in his 3 Super Bowl rings, we put him in the Hall of Fame because he played in big games. He just didn't get a lot of targets because he played on a run-first offense.
Yeah, that's fair. We got any other comments out there?
Yes, we got Thomas. He says, on breaking, just saying what up. Josh Allen talented. he agreeing with you, Terrence. And Big Will says thoughts on Anthony Elwitz paying his baby mama off. Let's get through this real quick, guys.
I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it. Sorry.
I'm a little bit familiar with it. I would say I understand why he doing that, but I think it can come back and hunt him later. Because what if his daughter goes on the internet when she's like 13, 14 and she sees that, Dad, you want to pay mom off so you don't want to have to deal with me? I know, she might know that she was an accident, but that's okay. But to know that you paid the mom off because you don't want to be around her, I think that could come and backfire. And I don't know if you can ever make that up. So be careful what's in the media and what you're trying to do. Do that. Move very meticulously when you're doing that. How do you know anything about that, Maximus?
I don't even know who he is.
Okay, Anthony Edwards is a basketball player from Minnesota.
Yeah. So
who put it in the media?
I haven't watched the basketball game since Michael Jordan was in the league.
I think the news. I think he let his left hand know what the right hand was doing. He went to the media. Well, I don't know, man. I think he just moved, and somebody knew what he was doing. They was trying to pay off.
A lot of women or put the guy on blast trying to, mess up his credibility. So I can see easily that he told her that, and she was like, "Oh no, let everybody know what he's doing." And she more so hurt the daughter than him. But at the end of the day, if that's what he want to do, I mean, I don't know, man. I try not to judge what people doing in life, I don't, because I could take it back and say I don't like that we have no control. And when I say this, I mean at the end of the day, we have control whether we have sex, whether we use protection. But I'm just saying, as far as once the pregnancy happened, we never had control of that. Then it's all in women's hand, their body, their choice. Either they can have it or not have it. So I never liked that, but it is what it is.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
I
don't
pay attention to basketball, so sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. This is, so let's go ahead and move on. I guess who wants to start off? Who wants to go first?
You guys want to start like 5-1, or you want to go 1-5?
I say 5-1. It doesn't matter to me.
All right. So you want to everybody do their 5 first and kind of talk about them from there?
Yep.
Yes. So actually, Maximus, Terrence, and Alex is gonna have their guys. Guys, I'm just gonna sit back and narrate. So yeah. I guess Alex, you can go first.
Okay, so for me, my 5 is somebody that I have actually seen gaining steam more recently. And for me, it's Iowa State's Jaden Higgins. 6'4", 210. Awesome size, great speed, good ball control, good in contested catch situations. One of the things that really stood out to me about Jaden Higgins was the fact that he had the 3rd most off-target throws and still put up 1,200 yards, and I believe it was 12 touchdowns this season. I really like Jaden Higgins. He had terrible quarterback play, put up great numbers, and helped Iowa State get to where they were. So Jaden Higgins, to me, is one that I'm looking for in all my rookie drafts, because he's also not going to be one of those guys that you have to spend a top half of the first round pick on. He's going to be a second round or maybe late first. He might sneak up like Sky Moore did, if you guys remember that draft class. But Jaden Higgins is somebody that I'm looking for in all my drafts.
All right.
What you guys
think?
game
would you recommend people go watch? Did you what like when did he have a great game to show the skill set that he could play in the league?
So I believe he had 2 games against top tier competition. One of them, I think, if I remember correct, was Penn State, and he was very good in that game against a great defense.
Okay.
So that's one of them. For me, obviously with the blindness, I don't watch a ton of film. It's more looking at what other people are watching as well as the stats and kind of putting it together that way. So I don't have a specific game, but I do know that when he did go up against good competition, he performed. So that's another thing that I look for, especially with Iowa State's not a smaller school by any means, but it's not your Big Ten SEC competition.
Right.
So you guys got anything to add on Jaden Higgins?
No, I don't.
I'll be talking about him later.
Okay. Terrence, who's your 5 then? Did we lose him?
Terrence is muted.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
My computer was giving me trouble. It was not letting me get back to this window. Now, you was asking me about my 5?
Yes.
So I just looked up because I was curious where Jaden Hickens was being projected because I
Okay.
didn't originally have him in my top 5 because he wasn't being projected for any significant draft capital. And what I call significant draft capital, I like my receivers getting first or second round draft capital.
Oh, see, I
So
have him going second or third round, day 2 guy.
so third round, that doesn't do anything for me. They're not going, they don't always force that player on the field to make sure they get playing time and anything like that. And sometimes, third round receivers can easily be replaced,
Yeah,
So,
that's fair.
but I just looked and they said he go get second round draft capital, which that changes my top 5. So at
Okay.
5, I would have Matthew Golden. At 4, I would have Higgins. At 3, I would have Luther
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Burden.
whoa.
Oh,
Give it
we're
all
just
away. Yeah, just
Yeah.
fine, bud.
Oh, we're just doing the 5th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if I'm just doing my 5th would be Matthew Golden. That would be my 5th.
Tell me
Okay.
what you like about Matthew Golden. Tell everybody here why we should draft Matthew Golden. Like, can he jump? Is he fast? Is he can't be guarded in man-to-man coverage?
My man Matthew Golden went to the combine, ran the fastest 40 of the receivers, 4.29, and said, "I'm not doing anything else. I'm done." He just dropped the mic on. He said, "I'm done. I did enough. You've seen enough." So
That is a mic drop
but
moment.
But as far as his production, you can definitely pick his draft profile apart because if you look at what he did in the regular season, it really is not adding up. But then when you just only look at how he came on in the postseason, you understand, well, maybe this guy is a gamer. Maybe this guy is a gamer and he better than what he's shown in the season. Maybe it took him a certain amount of time to overtake who they thought should have been the wide receiver 1 on their team, and he came and grabbed the mantle himself. Maybe he is him. So a lot of potential with this guy.
Right.
Definitely a lot of potential there.
Let me give a shout out to he super chatted. Doomsday, appreciate it, guys. If you super chat, you get your comment read out immediately, no matter what it is, as long as it's not gonna get me banned or get my channel banned. But appreciate you, bro. Hey guys, just to let y'all know, this is a guy that played for the Royals. He's a friend of mine. He played professional baseball. I think y'all might have seen him come up on a couple of mock drafts last year.
Nice.
What's up?
Yeah, appreciate you being
I
here,
do
Doomsday.
Doomsday. I think he was the guy that you picked as the team you liked the most in like one of the drafts we had did.
Yeah, I think he won one. Yeah.
Nice. So are we on to 4 then?
That was Maximus.
So
he said,
for me,
Maximus. Alex
I'm
says,
with parents on this one. My 5 is Matthew Golden. He's a transfer from where did he transfer from? Alex is slipping my mind right
University of Houston.
Yep, Houston.
Transfer from Houston. He was supposed to be brought in to be the number 2 to Isaiah Bond. And as the season went on, we had Quentin Ewers, who was struggling early on. He got hurt. Then they went to Archman, who took him a game to warm up. And once he warmed up, Ewers went back in there and was able to throw again. And by that time, Golden had already taken over the wide receiver 1. That's why he went on this championship run. He put up 162 yards in the game against Georgia in the championship game. Like, you just don't do that against the Bulldogs, not with the defenses they've been putting up these last couple of years. So he's my 5th guy. I mean, he's just one of these dogs that I don't even care where he goes. He's got that speed that he's going to get used in whatever offense. So for a seasonal league, if you want to try to win a championship and pick a rookie instead of some of these vets who might be on the downswing, this is a guy I'd go in there and grab because he's going to get his opportunities.
Right. So guys, this is a guy that I want to talk about. This is a guy I've been watching all year, so I'm gonna mention him, but I will do a deep dive, especially next week when we talk about. I think we're gonna do tight ends next week. But the guy that I want to talk about is my 5th guy is Joe Horn from
I was gonna say Jimmy Horn, Colorado.
Jimmy Horn, sorry about that. Yes, Jimmy Horn. I called him Joe Horn because I thought he was Joe Horn's son for some reason all season. But anyway, Jimmy Horn, guys. Now, listen, this is what I want to tell you. This is how you find sleepers. I'm giving you the sauce. Antonio Brown was a punt returner, slot, make a big play, at least one big play a game. Nothing that you would say, oh, this guy's going to be special. You would never say that watching him in college. You would just think he was going to be a really good punt returner. When I watched Jimmy Horn run routes, he was the guy that could get open and make big plays underneath. If Shadir needed to get the ball out quick, usually Horn was the one that was going to get open the fastest out of all, even with Travis Hunter. So I think Jimmy Horn, if he goes to the right team, let's say a team that's already made, but they need a slot guy, I believe Jimmy Horn could come out and get 80 to 90 catches immediately because of his skill set. He doesn't have the size of the Goldens and the Bukas, but he does have a special skill set. So I like Jimmy Horn for as making sure you pick him up in the late rounds of your rookie fantasy football drafts.
He's a smaller guy, right?
Yes, he's a smaller guy. Slot. He's a slot guy.
Yeah. Well, you can do a lot of damage in the slot too.
You can, especially with the NFL now in today's game. The slot guys are the hyper target guys. Is the guys that's going to get 8 to 10 targets a game. The outside guys, they usually are the touchdown guys, unless you Jamar Chase or Tyreek Hill or something. But yeah, I think Jimmy could surprise a lot of people if he goes to the right team with a good quarterback in the slot.
So I know Sean just in our last episode said that one of his favorite slot receiver spots was Detroit. It might have just been specific to that player. You were talking Jalen Royals, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Sean?
Yeah.
So is that Detroit? Do you see Detroit as a good fit for Matthew Golden there? TD?
Me?
Yes, I do, because they need another. Now, listen, I can't sleep on Tim Patrick is okay, but we all know Tim Patrick time is past. Like, he's a good, solid player. He knows the game, but he
had
hurt
bad luck.
They need somebody who can help push the safeties back. They got Jameson Williams. He's ready to take his next step. That's a sleeper. Neither here nor there. I'm telling you, I like Jameson Williams this year. I'm fading Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I do believe a player like Golden can help Jared Goff, because I don't think they have a guy that can actually make the defense scared other than Jameson Williams. Amon-Ra just a slot guy. He's going to kill you underneath anyway. But who's going to take the top off the defense outside of Jameson Williams? Golden could be that guy.
Yep, that's fair. Yep, that's an interesting one for me. So I'll just tell you now, he didn't make my list.
Right.
And part of that is just my evaluation process, just to throw my part in there. I think that Xavier Worthy is a better rounded receiver coming out than Matthew Golden. And I don't think that the 4.29, and yes, I love what he did in the big spotlight. But to me, Sean, you laid out the reasons why you think he didn't give the production. But if he's as good as he is, we should have seen it in other years too, and we didn't see it in other years. So maybe he's just a late bloomer and I'm wrong, but that's why I'm not looking for Matthew Golden. I'll let somebody else reach.
Would you compare him to Kevin White, Alex?
I wouldn't put that label on him, because I do think he's better than Kevin White.
Right. But Kevin White was a big dude that can make big plays, but he couldn't do it in the NFL.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to Kevin White. Maybe he just liked cheeseburgers too much, like Kelvin Benjamin or something. If you guys remember that one.
Yes. Ate himself out the league.
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what happened.
Eddie Lacy?
No.
Eddie Lacy.
That's another one.
That's another one.
Cheeseburger
and another one. Right. Okay, I guess we can go reverse order this time. I guess I'll start off with a guy. And I hate to say it. I didn't want to say it because I'm in the league with a lot of these guys. Y'all better not take my guy, Travis Hunter.
All right.
I'm taking Travis Hunter.
He's your 4.
Especially in my league, I got IDP, so maybe I'm cheating a little bit. I'm boosting it up a little bit.
And IDP
on both sides of the ball. But I understand why he worked out as a wide receiver. This guy, even though he's not probably the most technical wide receiver, he's so damn athletic and so gifted that he's like a jump ball wide receiver, like almost like a Mike Williams. I'm not saying he's Mike Williams, but he can make plays. He don't need to run great routes. He just throw it up there and I'll come down with it. And
he also runs very good routes though. He doesn't have to run great routes, but he does.
But Steve Smith nitpicked him. So that's why I went with Steve Smith. Steve Smith was like, well, you can get your hands like this instead of like this. And all right, Steve Smith, we get it. This guy hasn't been, he's not a full-time wide receiver. But I believe
Right.
he's going to work on that craft, and he's going to make big plays in big moments of the games. I don't think he's going to catch 10 balls, but in a playoff game or a divisional game, he could catch 15 balls. It just depends on what is needed. So I don't want people to sleep on him as a wide receiver and drafting him. Don't pick up like Gold and these guys before Travis Hunter, because Travis Hunter is going to make big plays, and that's why he worked out as a wide receiver. I won't be surprised if you play more wide receiver than corner.
So you said one of the things that, to me, first off, if a team is taking Travis Hunter, they're taking him because they know he could play two ways. I don't know, unless you're just making him a corner, although he is good enough to go that high. I think the part that makes you take Travis Hunter is because you know what he can do with the ball in his hands on the offensive side.
Yes,
and
sir.
Because of that, when you get in those situations, well, shit, it's 3rd and 12. We really need this first down or we're screwed. Are you really going to keep Travis Hunter from going out there on the field? No.
Right.
And how often do those moments come up in games? You can't keep the guy off the field. It's just not going to happen. So that's where I'm at. I'm with you. I really like Travis Hunter in this class. And I think he's if he came out and said, I am only going to play receiver, I think he would be the top receiver in this class.
Yes.
That's how talented I think he is.
And he could do it corner too. He could say, I'm only going to play corner. He would be the top corner.
Yep.
I think he's already the best at both.
Yes, I agree. We've seen him.
I've actually got him higher on my list, but if we're talking IDP, he'd be number 1.
Yeah, 101. Getting points for both sides of the ball. That's a cheat code.
I was thinking that. Genty who?
Yep.
Okay, Maximus, I guess we'll let you go next. Who your number 4 guy?
So my number 4 guy is Jackson Dart's guy, Trey Harris, 6'2", had a lot of big 100-yard games. Even had a 200-yard game. He's fast, runs great routes, powerful, can go up, get a contested catches ball. Can just do it all. And there's not very many big wide receivers in this class that I would not worry about where they go. And so he's one of those guys that just fits my mold that I can just, I trust no matter where you go. If I do a league where we draft before the NFL draft, like I would trust drafting this guy because he's got the talent to succeed wherever he goes.
Right. What would be a special superpower for him that nobody else got in the draft or he's at elite tier with?
Well, I'd say his route running, he's pretty much up there, but I wouldn't say he's the number 1 elite in anything. Like I think Travis Hunter can out route run him. I think Jaden Higgins could. I think Abigga could, but he does everything well and above average.
Okay.
Nothing fantastic.
Right. What type of NFL career do you think he could have?
Ooh, let's see here. I don't have
Cortland Sutton.
That's who I was actually thinking in my head, actually.
Yep. That's who I
be a little bit skinnier because Cortland Sutton's a big guy, but he's a skinnier Cortland Sutton.
Gotcha.
That's who I see too, is someone like Cortland Sutton, where he's a good, valuable piece. He's more important in NFL football than fantasy football necessarily.
Yes.
But Trey Harris, with his skill set, could be a star for fantasy as well, is the way I see him.
He's a great number 2 guy. If he went somewhere with Justin Jefferson or Chase on the other side and he could benefit from that single coverage, he's going to win that every time, right? Kind of like Addison and Higgins can now.
Right.
I like that.
All right, Terrence, who's the guy that you like? Number 4. I know you already mentioned him, but you can talk about him again.
Yeah, I had started to talk about him, as I said. Since he's projected to get 2nd-round draft capital right now, he does jump in my top 5. So Jaden Higgins would be my number 4. And, I see the same thing you guys. A guy with height, length, who with decent speed, able to get yak, tracks the ball well, so hey, I'm all in on this guy.
Hell yeah. Got one convinced. It wasn't before. So we're getting somewhere.
Okay.
So Jaden Higgins even before the combine.
Yep. So that leaves my 4. Right?
Yes. Go ahead, Alex. What was you saying?
All right. So is that my 4 now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, my number 4 is Luther Burton III, or 2nd. Sorry, I added a kid, I think. For me, Luther Burton, I see him a lot like a DJ Moore. He's 6 foot. Oh, well, he's not quite 6 foot. He's 5'11", 200 pounds. And I see him a lot like a DJ Moore, that guy that he could blow up and have a huge game, but he could just be that guy that's just peppered with targets. And once the ball's in his hands, that's where he thrives. And a lot of people knock his game saying that his routes are not the best. Well, part of that for me is that he wasn't asked to do that because they realized in that offense that they just wanted to get the ball in his hands. So they gave him simple concepts and he was able to produce on those. So I do think he's a little bit raw, but he's one of those guys that when the ball's in his hands, he can make big plays. And he's got the size to last in the NFL in that 5'11", 200-pound body. So I like Luther Burton.
5'11", 200 pounds. That's who was built like that? Is that Kendall Wright?
Yeah, Odell.
Mm-hmm.
Like 200 pounds, 5'11". That dude, what is he like a hybrid?
Yeah, very much. He's built like a running back. That's why he's so good with the ball in his hands.
Right.
They classify him as the next Deebo Samuel.
That's what I was about to say with that size.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I don't like to call anyone the next Deebo Samuel because, I mean, he is Deebo Samuel. There's just we tried that with Rondale Moore, right? Like, oh, he can do the same thing. Yeah, no. No. Nobody's Deebo except for Deebo. But with Luther Burton, I think he's got that. He can play in that hybrid role like that. So one of the things I've heard is that he's this year's Malachi Corley. I don't see that. He's much more talented than Malachi Corley. He just their route tree is similar because they were asked to do similar things in college.
Right. Okay.
What you think? You got any thoughts on him?
No, I said I don't know a lot about him. I got to do a little bit more research, but I like the size. I know corners don't and safeties don't want to tackle 200-pound guys.
No, no, especially with tree trunks like that.
Right. Right. All right. So Alex, I guess we'll go back to you. Who's your third guy?
For me, my third, I'm going to Ohio State. It's Emeka Egbuka. And the thing I love about this guy is that he does everything really well. He's not the best at anything, but he's also shared the field with incredible talents. So he hasn't had to do as much. I mean, Marvin Harrison Jr., Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, all these guys on the same team, Jackson Smith and Jigba. So, I mean, Ohio State receiver, you could essentially end the evaluation and the analysis there because that coaching and what they do with wide receivers at Ohio State is awesome. But for me, I see Egbuka a lot like an Amon-Ra St. Brown. And that's my comp for him. That's what I see for him. I'm not saying he's going to become that, but as a prospect, well-rounded, but not super great at anything. I think the floor is so easy with this guy. I think that he could be 8 to 10 targets a game and just keep going. I don't think he has to be a 1 on a team to produce. He's always open. He's always where you want him to be. I think he can really thrive in the league. I think he's the safest of all the receivers in the class.
Like that. Here's something crazy. Do you know who I compared to Amon-Ra St. Brown?
Who's that?
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Yep, I could see that too.
And so when you just said Egbuka, I'm like, damn, they keep them little Amon-Ra St. Brown type guys. They can get open. I didn't know. What is his name? Egbuka?
Yes, Emeka Egbuka.
What is his size and stuff?
He is 6'1", 210.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
So he's a little bit bigger than Amon-Ra. Amon-Ra, what? 205, 200?
Yeah. Okay. So they're almost the same size. Very close. Ooh. They're almost the same size.
And what ain't Jackson Smith and Jigba like 5'11", 200?
Yeah, I think he's 5'11", 196, something like that. Okay. Right around 200 pounds.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing with Egbuka too, is he can move inside or outside. So he can play both. They had to move him around at Ohio State because they had so many other guys that were moving also.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. So I like him. Like I said, I think he's the safest receiver in this class. So if you need a receiver that's going to hit, he might not have the highest ceiling, but he's the floor. Like he's not going to bust. I don't see a route where that happens. Outside of injury,
not bust, then you should have him higher on your goddamn list.
I like the upside, man. I like upside.
Right. All right, Terrence, who's your number 3 guy?
Well, my number 3 is Luther Burton. Okay. And hey, he is that guy. I mean, he played mainly in the slot, but 5-star recruit. He's able to get yak, able to get separation, tracks the ball well, had the most missed tackles forced at the wide receiver position in his previous college season. So, yeah, I'm going ahead and giving him my stamp of approval.
There you go.
What would you say? What would be his superpower that nobody else got,
No one else?
or he's elite at it?
I would say getting yak.
Okay.
Must see TV.
Okay.
He's must see TV. Yeah.
Okay. Is he a down the field wide receiver, or is he a screen type wide receiver, or he can do it all?
So I think that has been one of his knocks, saying that he has catch a lot of screens and stuff like that. But I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine wherever he go. If you put him in the slot, he's gonna go to that team and tell whoever other slot receiver there, hold my beer.
Yep. That's what I was saying, Terrence. I don't think he was asked to do a whole lot, so it's hard to knock him for something he can't do when he wasn't asked to do it.
Right.
That's where I'm at.
Because he was
Yep.
I would say a guy who was the number one wide receiver in his class came out, and to me, he dealt with that pressure and met expectations for the most part. So I'm all in on him.
Right.
How many of your badges did he get?
There we go. We on the badges.
Had to bring him in at some point.
He did get 4 of them.
Okay.
He got the early breakout badge, the early declare badge, the steady progress badge, and a must see TV badge. So, yeah.
He didn't get a yak badge.
I don't have a. I mean, the must see TV badge is kind of like a yak badge. So, yeah, good.
Guys, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This is cutting edge content. This is the good hour. Make sure you stay tuned every Thursday at 6:30. We will be breaking down content throughout the off season, and during the season, Thursdays will be the start and beginning of starts and sits. So this will be the first starts and sit show that you will get for my channel. And I might do a little individual starts and sit on my own just from my phone, but this will be the panel. This will be the show that we run every Thursday during the season for starts and sits. But anyway, Maximus, who is your guy? Who is your number 3 guy?
So my number 3, and if we're talking IDP, he shoots way up the board. Travis Hunter. I don't care where he goes. Like, he's going to get on that field. He's going to have his packages. They're going to give him his plays, because if you're not going to put him as a wide receiver, he's already said, don't draft me. We're going to have problems. Like, I'm not going to be there long time. I don't want to have to go through it. He's mature enough. He's putting that out there. So, as a team, if you're drafting him, you got to have a package for him. At least that first year, he might have 5 to 10 plays, and it'll slowly develop. But I think he's going to slime his way in there by year 2 to be a full-time starter, as at least a slot guy. When they go to 3 wide receiver sets, he'll come in every single time. I'd probably even be the number 2 guy. He can do it. He's been doing it now. For 4 years, he's been playing both sides of the ball and over 100 snaps a game. But if you draft him, you got to expect these soft tissue injuries. Why? Because he's getting twice the amount of reps as everybody else. It's just going to be part of the process of owning Travis Hunter, I believe. Not that he's had these small soft tissue injuries already. That's just a little bit of concern, but he's got the talent.
I want to push back on that. I don't think Travis Hunter is going to ever have soft tissue injuries. I think he might go down as one of the best shaped players ever to play in the NFL.
Yeah, but he's missed some games. He's missed some games.
Yeah, because he missed because he got hit.
Lacerated spleen.
Yeah, that was reason. But as far as a hamstring, I don't think he will. If you go back and listen to Dion, the way he practices, Travis is like he's like a what you call that? I hate to even say that because people don't try to be rude, but what's the Ethiopians when they win that race every year? What is that called?
Oh, like the marathon
race?
The marathon. I'm sorry, forgive me. I always thought that Travis Hunter looks like an Ethiopian, and he can run great distance, and you see he doesn't get tired, right? So I don't see him having soft tissue injuries. I think he's always going to be in superior shape. But
did you guys
get like injuries because he's a smaller guy? I believe that. But do you all believe that he's going to get soft tissue injuries because he plays both sides because of so many snaps that he's going to play?
any injuries in general he's going to get because he's playing.
Yeah, I would just say he's higher risk if he's playing both sides of the ball. I don't know that
And
it necessarily guarantees it.
Right.
What's that?
I never seen anybody in shape like him. I never see him like
Terrell Owens.
I never see him breathing hard. He's always like, let's go.
Did you guys see his interview at the combine or at the Colorado Pro Day when they asked him about it?
Yeah.
So they said, is there enough time in the day for you to do both sides of the ball? And he goes, well, I sleep for 8 hours. There's 16 other hours. Yeah, there's plenty of time.
Yep. Thanks.
It's going to be tough, but I don't know that there's a lot of people like him. And I wanted to ask you guys this because tinfoil hat, Sean and I like to talk conspiracy sometimes. Do you think the NFL is pushing him to be a corner because they would pay him less that way?
No, because corners and wide receivers can go get the same amount of money. It just depends on how good you are.
Yeah.
Corners can make as much. They can get Jamar Chase money if you're good like that. But if
they'd
you
have to be the
good,
absolute top of the league.
Well,
yes.
I think when Patrick Surtain comes up, he's going to tell us what they're going to pay corners.
There you go.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
So,
there you go.
We haven't really had one since what's his name?
Darrell Reeves
got paid.
Gilmore?
Yeah, I think he was the last true shutdown guy before he kind of went down. Trayvon
and he
Diggs
made more than a lot of receivers. That deal that he got in New England, he got like what, $80 million in New England?
Yeah.
Oh, Christian Gonzalez?
Oh yeah. He's good too.
Yeah.
Well,
and look at Johnson from the Bears last year. He got paid.
Jalen Johnson, he got paid too. Well, I guess we'll see. It was a thought I had because most corners in the league make less than most receivers. I mean, when you got receivers like Brandon Ayuk making $30 million a year, $32 million a year.
Right.
Like that says, Hunter, you should go be a receiver, bud.
Yeah, that says kind of you should be a wide receiver. But I think it's sky's the limit. I don't think that they're gonna try to put him in a position to try to lowball him because if he's playing corner and he's above average and he's locking down 90% of the wide receivers and then he's playing wide receiver and catching big balls, he can make just as much as Jamar Chase, $120-130 million.
I would hope so. Yeah. Because
he's not gonna let him lowball him. He's smart. He has Deion. So Deion's gonna tell him this is what you say you is because they're gonna try to lowball you on the back end when you claim a position. That's why Michael Parsons didn't want to be a middle linebacker anymore. It was because he felt like that they would try to lowball him when his contract came up. So he wanted to be a DN.
Excuse me one second.
Money. So it does happen. What you're saying, Alex, that's a great point. But I don't think it's going to happen between a corner and a wide receiver. I think the money is very similar when it comes to cornerbacks and wide receivers.
And they got to pay someone. So I don't know why you would think that's the case anyway. I think the more so, look, old boy trying to be on a path.
Hold on one second, guys.
To have that green jacket. That's what he's trying to be on the path for. And this is an easier path to get there, to be unique, coming in the league, playing both positions. This would be an easy path that when his career ends, he will get that green jacket. Hands down. So.
Right. Okay, I think you are next, right, Terrence?
No, it's you.
I've gave my guys. I
gave my third.
We beat to me for my number 2.
Okay, we're going to you. Okay, go ahead, Maximus.
So
I already gave our number 3.
Okay, that's fine, Alex.
My wife's having a situation, so
okay.
I'll see you guys soon.
Yep.
All right.
Talk to you later.
We all done gave our number 3.
Yep. So my number 2 guys we've been talked about already, but Jaden Higgins, he's going to go out there. He's going to produce this year. He's going to put up some points. You know, he's going to win you that YR3 type of for your fantasy team this year. I could see that easily. He's got the size, speed, and run those routes, and he even have a man-on-man coverage. He's got the best route win percentage of anybody in this class at 94%.
And I looked up Higgins a little bit when y'all was talking. I see him in a couple categories that I really like. So I got to go check out the film.
Yeah, he's huge, man. 6'4", 220 about.
And he got good feet. Is he like Nico Collins?
Oh, yeah. He's got feet and hands. Like, he's quick acceleration, too. Once he gets the ball in his hands, he's got that next gear, that top-level speed you need to break those home runs. Like, he's got it all.
Okay.
I only got one guy above him in this class. Like the one thing you won't hear about me through all this, like I'm not a big Luther Burton fan. He's not in my top 5, and I don't have Tet in my top 5. Like I'm gonna die on that hill. Tet's not even in my top 10. I think he's a trap, and I just wouldn't touch him.
Right.
But we'll get into that because I'm sure somebody else has him on the top.
Right. Hey, Maximus, are we gonna do a conspiracy at the end of this live?
No.
Okay. I guess you next, Terrence. Who's your number 2 guy?
My number 2, and he was already mentioned, is Trey Harris. And, I'm not even going to lie. Like, Trey Harris, he has some badges, about 5 different badges lined up. I like them, but if he don't get the draft capital, now he is currently projected to be drafted in the 2nd round. But it seemed like he don't have the same head of steam going in as before the combine. If he don't get the draft capital, of course, he's going to drop tremendously in my rankings because I only draft wide receivers drafted in the 1st and 2nd round. I will continue to remind you that I might, maybe in a low rookie dynasty draft, I might in the 4th round pick up a wide receiver that was drafted at the top of the 3rd that I really like. But for the most part, I really only draft wide receivers drafted in the 1st and 2nd round. But as of right now, he's my number 2. He gets yak, tracks the ball well, gets separation, and, certified man beater. He earned over 3 yards per route run this past season and the season before that. Only negative I hear about him is that I think his coach is Lane Kiffin. Is that his coach that kind of set up the offense to allow them guys to get open? So they feel like, even though he earned all the yardage and did all this, they don't like the fact that his coach was getting him open so well. That's the negative that I hear.
Right. That's what the NFL is trying to go to right now. Scheming guys open. So that's what you want. You want guys that are going to be consistent where they need to be and know what they're doing.
Right. So I just really want him to get with a good quarterback, and that would make me feel comfortable if he get with a good quarterback or in a good offense. Either one, someone that's not going to hold him back. I don't want him to get in a bad situation.
Right. Okay. Maximus, your number 1 guy.
All right. So my number 1 guy's already been talked about. Everyone's kind of already agreed. He doesn't really have a floor because he's going to be the most solid guy. But from Ohio State, Emeka Egbuka, like he's my number 1 guy in this class. He's the guy, the only one. If I was going out and I'm like, I got to get a wide receiver, this is the guy I'm getting because he's going to hit. It's going to be no matter where he goes, he's going to hit. He can play in the slot. He can go on the outside. Just because he wasn't doing everything in college, he didn't have to because the Ohio State is so talented at the wide receiver position that they've just been pumping out guys like crazy that they share. Like even Marvin Harrison, he'd put up 100 yards in the first half and then they'd sit him the rest so they could play everybody else. And he had an injury season, so he went back for 1 more year and won a championship, which is only just going to raise his draft capital. He's one guy I can say for sure is probably going to go in the 1st round.
Wow. And that's showing that little catch up I got to be doing because I didn't know Egbuka was going to be a 1st round pick. They wasn't saying it in the beginning of the process, was they?
And I'm not seeing him projected. I'm not seeing him projected in the 1st round.
But Sean thinks he's going to be in the 1st round.
He could because when I'm looking at the projections and I look at mock draft on database and they're projecting him to go 33, so he can easily go in the 1st round or at the beginning of the 2nd round.
Right.
So,
let me run this by you. Steelers are sitting there at 21. They've got DK Metcalf. They've got talks of trading Pickens on the draft day because they want to get rid of him. You've already seen how DK Metcalf works with JSN. Well, friggin' Egbuka slides right into that position. You know it's going to gel well. And if you sign Aaron Rodgers, now you've got him 2 legit weapons even after trading Pickens.
Right. You don't trust rookies.
There's rumors that they're already shopping Pickens right now because they're sick of his attitude. And that's why
then they go trade for DK? And DK got a better attitude than
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, man. That blew my mind.
Hey, Tomlin has a way of keeping a lid on these guys. Like, nobody knew Antonio Brown had those issues until he left Tomlin. And then it was like he goes to the Raiders. He has that pool party, and he's like, "Fuck it, I'm done. Trade me." Like fucking. And
so that lets you know how bad Pickens is if he's over there acting a fool. He's gonna self-destruct if you go somewhere else.
Oh yeah, for sure. But there's rumors out there that they're shopping him right now, so I can see.
If Pickens go to the right squad with the right quarterback, because that guy is super talented.
He's he goes self-destruct. I'm not even.
Yeah, I don't want no shit. But he's talented. If sometimes it takes like look at Terrell Owens. He started blowing shit up, but he got with the Eagles and took them to a Super Bowl. So on the right situation, Pickens could be good for a certain amount of time. I'm not going to say for the rest of his career.
As long as you can keep feeding him. As long as you can
don't you ever compare that man to Terrell Owens.
Right. No, but Terrell Owens, he started off slow as a career. Like he just started until he was his third or fourth year in his NFL career.
Second, I think he started.
And was the second? Well, Maximus the 49er guy. Okay.
Yeah, definitely a second. He was getting some big plays. The third year was when he had that 10 drops in the game, and he's like, "Don't give up on me, Steve." And he threw it to him in the goal line at the playoffs. And then T.O. was born.
Yeah. So Terrence, you still got your number one guy to go, right?
Yep. And I'm sorry, Sean, I don't have him.
Oh, you don't?
In my top 5. He's not there. I'm sorry, TD. I don't have Tech McMillan in my top 5. He's not there. But my number one guy, and of course we already mentioned him, is Travis effing Hunter. Yeah. So, and I mean, I think we said everything we needed to say about him. Of course, we didn't talk about all the accolades he wrapped up in college, and I'm only going to talk about the offensive side of the ball. But I mean, he was the 2023 and 2024 Paul Hernan Award winner, which 2024 Biletnikoff Award winner. That's if my viewers don't know, that's you being the best wide receiver. He was. I think he won the one for the best defensive back too. I just don't know the name of that because that's a defense award. I'm sure. And then he came back. Of course, with winning those awards, they had to give him the 2024 Heisman Award. So I mean, the man racked up a bunch of accolades, and with them accolades, he racked up a bunch of haters. So you will hear some people hate on him on the low, but he is my guy. And of course, I would change it if he's drafted as a more so cornerback and only gonna have packages for offensive side of the ball. But at the end of the day, right now, this is pre-draft, keeping my mind open. To me, if he was just a receiver, he would be the best wide receiver. And that's the end of the story.
I agree. The only reason I have him at 3 and not high on my list is because right now we don't really know, and we're really not going to know until the season starts. So I'm going there on more of the side of the caution that he's going to be more of a DB because they're harder to get in the NFL than a wide receiver. So teams are going to want that side of him playing more, concentrating that more on his rookie year. So who knows how much we'll find out week 1 how much he's going to be playing on the offensive side. Until then, it's all just a guess.
I don't give a damn if they draft him as an offensive lineman. I'm gonna count this guy to have at least 5 touchdowns a year on the offensive side of the ball and at least about 600 or 700 yards, especially early in his first 2 years.
In the IDP, you can feel more comfortable drafting him, at the one-on-one because you're gonna get your points regardless.
Don't say one-on-one.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Well, that's why I would be drafting
one-on-one.
Fuck yeah, man. I've been saying that to my buddy for 3 years now, that there's another IDP league. He's not one of yours. I'm like, whoever doesn't have that, man, if they don't take him, you trade up to 2 and you fucking draft Hunter. It doesn't matter what it fucking
Damn, I thought I was going to be able to get Travis Hunter. I'm not going to be able to get him now. Maximus is on.
One reason I have no picks. The one league that I got the championship, I have no picks to move.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You're all right there. But the other one, I'm sitting right in a spot where I'm like, these fools are gonna let him fall right to me, and I'm gonna fucking take it. Like, okay, come to Papa. I got the 1.6.
Right.
I'll sit there. Super
This dude
flex.
will be
You're gonna
scoring
have
40 or
Shador
50 points in the IDP section.
Yeah, and if I don't get Hunter, Shador's probably fell to me then.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Right.
Y'all can have Shador. Y'all, you know I'm not a big fan of Shador like that. Y'all can have him.
Shador is probably one of the best quarterbacks that we'll see as a rookie. Like if he starts 17 games, we'll see some tremendous stuff. I think what makes him great, it's not his arm ability or anything, it's his moxie in his mind, because his daddy then raised him as a phenom his whole career. So I think he's a bunch of steps ahead of any quarterback, even Joe Burrow. He's ahead of everybody that was drafted as a rookie. Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh my God.
Hell yeah. Mentally? That's what I'm talking about, mentally.
How can you not be? After his first year in JUCO at Jacksonville State, Deion Sanders asked Tom Brady, hey, can you mentor my son?
Come on now.
Since that point, every game that Shador's played, he's watched that whole film with Tom Brady, whether it be on a phone, on a Zoom call, whatever it be. But Tom's always made this a 4-hour slot where they can just break him down on his game. So how can you not get better? And that's going to continue and continue, especially if the Raiders take him at 6. The sky's the limit.
Right. I don't want to get it twisted at all, because I was a Colorado fan, and that was the only team games I was looking at. I'm not really going to look at it in college except for that. But I just want to say, when I think about him and when I made his draft profile, I see a better real life quarterback than a fantasy quarterback. He's not going to move the needle for me fantasy wise.
Okay.
You know, I'm going to root for him as a real quarterback.
Right.
I'm gonna be in the corner rooting for him because I love everything Deion Sanders. So if you connect to prime time, I'm gonna root for you. But what I seen, he's not gonna offer me the fantasy points I need. I see a ceiling of 16 points a game unless he grow into Tom Brady and all of a sudden the whole field open up to him, they put talent around him. Then of course, he can have one of them seasons where he throw a lot of touchdowns. But that's not gonna come anytime soon. I don't see that coming anytime soon. So I'd rather trade for that on the back end rather than draft.
I think he throws for 30 touchdowns if he starts 17 games as a rookie. But he got to start
like a lot. That sounds like a lot.
That's easy.
30 touchdowns. How much did Jaden Daniels throw for? That sounds like a lot.
I think he like 33, right?
Yeah, something like that.
I think you might be asking for too much if you talking about throwing.
And Jaden Daniels missed some games too.
Yeah. I just think he can throw. I think his moxie, kind of like Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers, Dan Marino, bruh, he don't see a window that he won't put the ball in there. That's that professional attitude. That's not college. So he gonna throw guys open. He's been throwing guys open his whole life. So he's ready. He's actually better equipped for the pro game than he is the college game.
I can't wait to see it. I want to see
it. And the Titans are going to tighten it up and take Cam fucking Ward.
Right.
Want to hear a fun stat?
What's up?
For the last 25 years, since the year 2000, how many all-pro players do you think there's been that have gone 1.01?
Since when?
2000. So 25 years.
3?
7. Or no, 4, sorry. 4 of them. Just 4 fucking guys. And if you go to the 24th pick in the draft, 17 guys in the last 25 years.
Yeah, it gets easier. It's easier to pick at 17 than it is picking at the 1 spot.
A lot of guys have been weeded out already.
Well, what I always preach, I'm like, if you the one-on-one, you're going to a bad team, bad organization. Just know you digging yourself out the hole. You working in the hole. It's gonna be a hard climb up for you.
Facts. All right, guys, let's get to some of these comments and then we'll get out of here. Maxims, what I do want to talk to you, man. I think we need to do a conspiracy. We're gonna say that for another show. To talk about conspiracies at the end.
Yeah, that's what we were gonna do.
Okay. All right, so let me go through some of these comments. I appreciate everybody being patient. Let me see here. Mr. Grapefruit says Jack Beach ADP about to skyrocket. Y'all know who that is?
Yeah, I love him from TCU.
Okay.
I think he overrated myself. Maybe he'll be a better NFL player than a fantasy player. I think he overrated.
Thomas, what's up, Thomas? Thomas says smart money-wise, because when he gets an extension, he'll have to pay more. But listen, bro, family is more important than money. You can have $1 billion, but if you told your kids you only love them because they were born, what kind of life? Like, you got to understand, he can get out of the money thing, but is that kid going to love him back? And if he don't care if the kid loves him back, that looks very bad as an African-American man. And I asked Terrence to speak on this. Would you want that type of negative feed on you where you paid a woman off so you didn't have to take care of your baby?
Oh, well, I got a different mindset. Look, I go out there searching for any kid. Look, I put my DNA test in everywhere, family, ancestry, all them places.
How many women
Just in
you
case
sleeping with?
if I got something out there, come find me. Like, I don't want any fatherless child out there with my DNA. It's not happening. So
come on now. Doomsday, what's up, bro? Thomas says wide receiver Kyle Williams represent Washington. You like Kyle Williams, Terrence?
I like him. He's been getting a lot of notoriety since Chris Sims have put him in his top 5. But yes, he can ball, he can play, and if you go look at his film, you'll like him too.
What you think, Maximus?
I got to go back and look at him. I've looked at so many guys since I can't remember them.
Right. Mr. Grapefruit says because he's not Isaiah Bond.
I think that's when we was talking about Golden.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Doomsday.
Yes, sir. Young whippersnapper. What's up, Ethan? He says, I would love to watch Travis Hunter, but I think he will be more of a corner. I don't think it matters. I want to see him on both sides of the ball.
He must see TV. I don't even care about defense, but I will be looking for him. He's gonna make me watch whatever team he go to.
Yep.
I'm gonna be looking for him.
Facts. Thomas says thoughts on Florida wide receiver Elijah Badger.
Hey, you're getting somewhere, Thomas. You been watching my channel? I just put out a short about him the other day. Yes, me and my co-host high on Elijah Badger. Hey, I don't know how high the NFL is on him. It looked like when I looked on the mock draft database, he was projected to get 4th round draft capital, but I have a high prospect score on him. So he probably come out and surprise you wherever you go.
Ethan says, I'm a big Tez Johnson guy. I like the eye test, and he passes it. I don't care if he's undersized. Right. Ain't no such thing as being undersized unless you like 5'2" or something.
Well, he's like Devontae Smith size.
Right. Oh, skinny.
Yeah.
The slim reaper.
Yeah, like Troy Franklin. Like, that's why he took over for Troy Franklin, right? So it's the same sort of body build. Fast, jukey type of guy.
Yeah. There you go. What's up, bro? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Kenny says, hey, bro, look out for Jukins in 2025. Yeah, I talked about Jukins. He was definitely in my top 5. Go back and watch the running back video that we did. We all had Jukins in our top 5.
I had him number 1. He's my number 1 guy this year draft.
And he was supposed to have been a number 1 guy like 2 years ago when he had a crazy season at Ole Miss. And then all of a sudden, other guys.
And then they got him to come to Ohio because Trayvon was supposed to go in the draft, but then he was like, not going to go back and win a championship. And what Jukins do? Okay. And still carved out a role of that offense with how good Henderson is. Facts.
Kenny says, I know he's not a wide receiver, but just heads up. Thank you, bro. Thomas says, if I was Pickens, I want out. DK came and took the wide receiver. No, DK can't never be a true number 1 wide receiver. He's a gadget guy, but it's a different type of gadget guy. It's a gadget, I'm a monster type guy. I'm going to push you over. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get, because he's not a great route runner, but he's such a freak of nature. DK going to get open, but he's not going to get command 12, 13 targets, about 7 to 8 targets a game. That's all. They still need a prototypical route running guy. DK is not the best route running guy. So you need somebody to work the middle of the field, even though they got good tight ends like Pat Fryermuth, but you need a wide receiver to work the middle of the field. So I don't think DK is going to hurt another wide receiver on that team.
The problem is, like he did say, DK came in and got paid, which he was trying to do. Pickens was trying to get paid, and DK came in and they paid him. So they ain't about to pay no Pickens.
That's why he's on his way out.
Yeah, that's why he's on his way out. That's true. Ethan Carson, Shadur suck if I'm being honest. I have no, bro, and I respect, because I know you very intelligent when it comes to breaking down players, but bro, I see completely opposite of that. Nowhere near the suck. Now listen, if he goes out there, man, and he throwing a bunch of picks and can't get it together, I will come back and give you credit. But I suck. Wow, I'm just way on the other end of the spectrum. That's like somebody saying Halle Berry is ugly. I can't. I'm like, bro, I disagree with that totally. How do y'all feel like Shadur Sanders suck?
I can't get on board with that. Like I said, I was the one giving you pushback. I said he won't move the needle for me fantasy wise, but I do not think he sucks. Don't think that's the case. And when it comes to Halle Berry, I never had her as my number one, number two, number three, or number four. But guess what?
She your number five.
She's still pretty. Don't get it twisted. I know beauty when I see it. I know beauty when I see it. She might not be my top five, but I know she's an attractive woman.
Yeah, she's an attractive woman. She just don't got enough.
Caught up in height. Don't get caught up in that height, because a lot of people bashing him. They don't like that he brash, that whatever they want to call him, arrogant, brash. Whenever you use a confident black man, you get everything negative thrown at you.
Right.
So
right. Yeah, well, something I was gonna say about Halle Berry. She's not my cup of tea, but I know she's beautiful. I like women with a little bit. I like my women like fruit. When I'm going to pick my fruit, I'm trying to pick the juicy fruit. And when you touch it, it squeezes, right? Because you know it's right. So I don't like skinny fruit that doesn't have a. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave that alone. I don't want to.
I need a little something. I need some thick.
Okay. The next comment is, he says some people have Jackson Dart over Shadur. Jackson Dart is a good player. I'm not gonna sit here and say that's crazy, but I like Shadur over Jackson. But Jackson is gonna be a good player. Jackson might be the steal of the draft.
I have Jackson Dart over Shadur fantasy wise. Now it can. Hey, he's gonna get on that field and score more points than Shadur day one. That I'm not even questioning that. Now, is he gonna last past his first contract is another question. Because them wheels can come off of that train real quick and derail. Right. I'm just saying.
Right. Ethan says, I feel like Monroe is underappreciated. He going to be like Lamar, like how he going to fall and be him in the league.
Whoa. Look, I was Monroe giving him props. Did he mention Lamar? I had to go calm the whole hype down.
Right. Right.
He's going to end up with the Browns, and then what do you think of him?
Oh, he pure fantasy points. He get on the field, pure fantasy points. Lock him in. That's like Anthony Richardson when he get in the game. Lock him in for some fantasy points. Fields, lock him in. Now, is he going to get past a first contract and get a starting job? Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's be realistic,
I agree with that. Thomas says, I agree. Family over money. Yes, sir. And let's see. Ethan Carey says, what do y'all think about Hurl Fannin Jr. at tight end?
Yeah, he's one of the most athletic tight ends in this class, but he's still a little raw. Got to work on a bunch of stuff. But tight ends, it really depends where they go, because there's only about 11 coaches in the league that know how to utilize the tight end position.
Come on now.
So until we see where these tight ends go, I'm not even really going to rank them anywhere.
So, yeah, if you listen to my channel, that's my guy. I'm a Harold Fanning guy, but just like my man Sean did say, it does matter where he go and how you utilize him, because these coaches, you just don't know. So his bottom could be, and we talked about this, Sean, on Brian Harrison. he can be him. His ceiling could be Juno Smith. You just don't know. It depends on if you get that opportunity.
Ethan says, for IDP leagues, do y'all like Will Johnson or Jado Barron more?
Depends which team they got. Which team has the worst defense and going to get thrown on more.
Right. Thomas says, send a mock with Ibuku to the Bears. So old boy is trying to get his Amara, ain't he? Ben Johnson.
Could be. I keep seeing Giante mock to them. So
okay. Thomas said, Jimmy possibly about to be generational. Do y'all believe he's generational?
I don't.
What do you call generational? Like, because you can't say this every couple of drafts.
Somebody who dominates the league at their position.
You can't say this every couple of drafts.
3 to 4 years, you're the number one at the top of the hill.
That's generational. Exclude this last season. Was we saying the same thing about Barkley? Because Barkley didn't have some down years in fantasy. All the talent in the world, he wasn't
coming out of college. He was.
No. I'm just saying. Exclude this last season. No. Coming out of college, he was. If we just talking about a generational prospect, yes, he is that.
Okay.
He is that, and that's what I'm saying. Who all getting that? Getting that thing because Bijan just got that. But I'm just saying he's on the level of those guys, but we can't every couple of years say generational prospect.
You're right.
So
what are we doing?
Who do you like better, Bijan or Gianti?
Bijan.
Yeah, me too.
The problem is Bijan is already in the league. We know where he at, blase. I mean, so give me Bijan.
Yeah,
and I love players that don't run from the combine. When they go there, we go get these measurements up. We ain't trying to hide nothing. We go get these 40s. That's what I like. I don't like people that's hiding, don't want to test because they scared or their stock gonna drop. I don't like that. That's why Jamar Chase went out there and killed it. That's what I like. I'm the top guy, and I'm gonna show y'all why I should be the top guy. That's what I like.
Yep. What Deion didn't work out. He only ran the 40.
Okay, that was good enough. Mic drop. Going back home. I'm going back home.
Ethan says, I think Shedeur has great accuracy. His field vision is good, but he gonna need to make quicker decisions. I agree, and that's coaching. That's coaching. That's scheme.
Well, that comes with maturity too.
Yeah. Yes. Also having talent around you in the scheme, getting the ball out. He's trying to push the ball downfield at Colorado to Travis Hunter. So you got to see that. Look at Pat Mahomes at Texas Tech, then look at Pat Mahomes in Kansas City and tell me the difference. There's a big difference. He says going to need to make quicker decisions. I know his line is bad, but he hold on the ball long and he don't seem that athletically gifted. No, you don't. He ain't. So Tom Brady was it? Dan Marino was it? That's the type of quarterback back to Shedeur. Even though I know you're not saying this, Ethan, but just because he's a black guy doesn't mean that he's supposed to be athletic. But so he's actually a pocket guy. I see him more like an Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers didn't have the greatest arm coming out of college. Aaron Rodgers didn't get all these clout stuff until he started at Green Bay. Coming out, they was like his arm is kind of average. He got a bad delivery, all that type of stuff. So Shedeur Sanders, to me, the way he throws the ball, accurate as he is like Aaron Rodgers. I think he's going to be like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers was athletic, but he wasn't like Michael Vick or nothing athletic, but he could get out the pocket and extend the plays. And last comment for the day, it says, Thomas says, Angelina Jolie in the movie Tombstone. Anna Gina Jolie. Okay, my bad. That's a different girl. That's not Anna.
No, he just messed up the spelling badly.
Okay. So it is Angela Jolie. Okay. I'm like, is that a kid or something? But yeah, Jolie. Jolie was fell off, man. But back in like Wanted, when she was doing Wanted and stuff, man, them lips, she was right. Now she done got old. No, she ain't aged that well. She's okay. She hasn't aged that well.
Well, them people that get all that work done, they don't age well. It will show. It will show. That's
how they look. I'm cute. No, you're not. You're not cute. Stop it.
Yeah.
He says, I think Shedeur comparisons Russell Wilson. No, he's not. He's not Russell.
Yeah. I don't know.
Russell Wilson was athletic.
Hey, we'll see when he get the Giants take him 3rd overall.
Well,
Right.
look, don't get it twisted. Look, don't disrespect Russell Wilson. Man won a Super Bowl. He was supposed to win 2. Don't disrespect now.
Right.
Well, if he would have ran the ball with Marshawn Lynch, he would have had 2 Super Bowls.
Well, sometimes you got to bump what the coach say. You know, make the most realistic decision.
What the coach said. Did you not see that come out this week?
What
Russell
happened?
checked from the run play to that pass.
I can see that too. I can see him wanting to get the glory rather than Marshawn Lynch.
That's why
I hear that though. I need to find that.
Marshawn Lynch can't stand him.
I need to find that if that's the case.
Yeah, it's come out this week. It was in something Lynch was talking on something I was watching, and he was like, "Yeah, man, that was supposed to be my play, but something, somebody changed the play." He didn't come right out and say Russell, but he's like, "Somebody changed the play. Who could change the fucking play? Only Russell."
Right.
It's not like an offensive lineman, the center's going, "Hey, well, I think we should run this." And no, it's Russell Wilson fucking checked it and got picked off, lost the Super Bowl.
All right, guys. So, Terrence, anything you want to say before we get out of here, bro? Anything you want to talk about?
Hey, nothing else to talk about, man. If like I said, check out my channel if y'all haven't already. I want y'all to subscribe to my channel. Make sure you subscribe to the Fantasy Blind Spot. Make sure you subscribe in all the places to us, so you don't just get us on Thursdays. You can hear us throughout the week.
Yes, sir. And we will be having more shows together. It might not be the same cast, but these guys might get on other shows, and we don't know what the days are going to be, but I expect to see Maximus and Terrence more than just Thursdays. But yes, definitely check their channels out. Maximus, check out he'll tell you this. Check out the Bond guy. I forgot the name of it. He'll tell you. But yeah, check these guys out on their platforms. Go ahead, Maximus. Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, well, I'll be doing this show with you guys every Thursday live. Look forward to that. Like I said, great that we've been able to come back and get something like this going. Should be a great show. Other than that, you can find me and Alex on Spotify at the Fantasy Blind Spot. We can do a podcast on there that we release every Tuesday at noon and Fridays at noon. So we'll be recording tomorrow and dropping that. Check us out there.
Ethan says, TD, is any mock drafts coming? Yes. I just want to get a good day to keep that going. I think I'm going to do Sundays. I think Sundays is going to be the mock draft, and I might do it one more day a week, and we'll just do a mock draft, to keep it fresh. I think mock drafts are good. So yes, this Sunday I will be doing a mock draft, and I'll probably be inviting up several of us. I don't know. It just depends on who's free. So yeah, they are coming. And Thomas says voice text. What's voice text?
That's when you message a person with your voice instead of texting them. But why he mentioned that though?
I don't know.
He was probably trying to just get his phone to record his voice text with Alexa or something.
Oh, when he he misspelled Angelina Jolie.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. All right, guys, listen, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to this channel. This is cutting edge content. Also, guys, like I said, this show is going to be coming every Thursday. I want to apologize to everybody. I had an emergency come up, and this is the off season, guys. Just to let y'all know, it don't have to be content coming. It's a couple channels that don't do content, but I do want y'all to get content during the off season. I got a lot of things planned. I got a lot of different shows. Me, Maximus, and Terrence, and Alex, and a couple of us are going to sit down and come up with some shows. I think that's going to be good for my channel going forward. So make sure you tune in to Fantasy Good Sports. Make sure you hit the notification bell and go to personalize. Not personalize, but all. Don't unclick personalize and go to all. Sometimes you got to redo that every couple of months because YouTube algorithm is weird. But I'll see y'all guys later. Y'all be safe. Peace.